You've all heard the phrase misgendering, right? It's when you refer to somebody by the wrong pronouns. Although we've gotten in the weeds with it these days, because now a biological man can tell you that his pronouns are she, her, and if you refer to him as he, him, you have now committed the grave mistake of misgendering somebody. Some people even think it should be punishable under law. So what happens when a biological man makes it his entire personality to film himself getting into altercations with people who misgender him? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into this video, I do have a Patreon if you'd like to support the work that I'm doing on this channel. The link is in the description down below. No pressure. Now, let's get introduced to this guy. I do not know his TikTok handle or anything. We're not going to get into all of that. Don't want you guys to go leave him comments or anything like that. Let's just watch the content and see how we feel about it.
Looks like he's having a nice feast.
She, her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
But it was not all good.
Hi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah, like it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
Oh my gosh, as you should. In that first video where the person says he, by the way, it's she, but it's all good. It should have stopped there. You shouldn't have gone on to say, but it's not all good, or, you know, this feels like a knife in the heart. Obviously, these people are not going out in their daily lives to purposefully disrespect somebody. And if you're me or you think like I do, I don't even see that as a form of disrespect. I see that as a form of acknowledging reality. And it seems as though that person was particularly apologetic when it came to using the wrong pronouns in this case. It should be just to stop there, move on, eat your food, and go about your business.
The Sweetwater starts at okay.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's just always like a knife. It always hurts every single time. I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir. Oh, okay. It just really sucks every time it happens. Sorry about that. I don't need to be called ma'am. I just need to not be called sir, you know?
Is your chosen name Karen?
Can I speak to the manager?
Did you call me sir? Hey, I just want to tell you that the person who gave me this called me sir.
What?
Called me sir.
Oh.
It's just like, it kind of just hurts a lot to get called sir.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
Very good. Thank you so much. No, yeah. Thank you. I'm not a sir. Nothing like a good misgendering. It is a knife in the gut when I get called sir. I feel like I need to tell him. I need to tell him.
Why would you assume that he is a him? Did he tell you what his preferred pronouns were before you started referring to him as him? It must be pointed out that this individual is constantly going to restaurants, setting up a phone to film himself eating, and then catching these moments. It's almost as though he anticipates these moments happening and thinks, you know, this may be good for social media content. And if he can anticipate these moments of misgendering happening and the moments of apology from the servers and waitresses who are taking care of him, maybe he can also acknowledge the reality that most people are going to make the mistake, if we can even call it that, of referring to him, as that is what most people see. And it's almost as if you are imposing, or at least attempting to impose, a new distorted reality onto other people, as if the world revolves around you, as if you have some sort of sense of entitlement to the language that people use. They are not the ones committing this act of disrespect in this moment. He is in fact the one committing an act of disrespect. It seems as though in these videos, every single person is attempting to just do their job, and they're attempting to do it respectfully, which is why they're using phrases like sir and ma'am. They're going out of their way to try and be respectful. And this guy, due to his own distorted view of reality, is trying to police their language. But let's keep watching. Maybe it gets better.
That hurt. It hurts more, though, and it's not intentional, because it means like this is sir to him. I know you didn't mean it, but I'm not a sir.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. It's just, you know, it hurts. I know when people clock me, it's fine, but like, it does kind of hurt. Thank you. I'm not sir.
Oh, sorry.
Not sir. Not sir. But the guy who dropped the food off, he called me sir twice in a row.
Okay. I'll let him know that, and
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What are they supposed to do? Say you're fired?
You're fired!
I just don't understand. At what point, if this guy surveys 100 people and asks them, what are you going to refer to me as? Which pronouns would you be most inclined to use?
And if out of those 100 people, 98 say, I would refer to you as sir, if I was talking to you in passing or serving you at a restaurant.
At what point do you have to then acknowledge that this is happening to you so often that maybe you are the one that does not have the best view of the situation? If you can constantly get, video after video after video of somebody referring to you as sir or he, him, maybe it's you who needs to do a little bit of self-inventory about the way that you are presenting to the world. And typically I have a lot of sympathy for people who are going through something like this, as we know it comes from a deep sense of incongruence with their mind and their body. They feel uncomfortable with themselves. They feel like they need a big change, and that big change comes in the form of social transition or changing the way you look or the way you dress, even getting surgery in many cases. But when you choose to take on an identity like this and also disrespect other people while doing it, then we have a problem. It's one thing to go around and say, hey, could you please refer to me as she, her, and not have the expectation that people do it. Allow them to make the choice freely, allow them to make mistakes. That is one way to handle the situation, and in my opinion, the right way to handle the situation. It is a whole other thing to go out to restaurants, set up your phone, start filming, wait for people to misgender you, correct them, go after them, talk to their managers, try to get them fired or try to get them reprimanded, and then post that on social media later. It leads me to believe that in fact it is not a knife in the heart or a knife in the gut or a knife anywhere to this individual. That in fact he may get off on the idea of people misgendering him because he knows it brings about social media content. It brings about this new manufactured outrage that we are so in love with on the internet. If it truly were a knife in the heart to get misgendered, wouldn't you avoid that at all costs? Wouldn't you stop maybe going to restaurants where this is happening to you? Wouldn't you stop filming those altercations so that you could go back and watch your assault over and over and over again? I would think so. But this person chooses to film them, edit them, put them out on the internet, and then do it over and over and over again. But let's take him at his word that in fact misgendering truly is a knife to the heart. That still means that you have work to do, because for the most part, that is the way that the world is going to treat you. You have a couple of options. Your options are to go further down the path of trying to feminize yourself so that you can become a passing individual if it hurts you so much, or you can choose to acknowledge the reality that yes, in your current state, some people are going to refer to you as sir and he, him. And the truth of it is, the world does not revolve around you. It is not me all the time. You are not the main character. But this is further proof that victimhood is really currency. If you can identify with a marginalized group and get evidence that you are constantly being berated and assaulted by those who don't adhere to your ideology, you have moved up in the hierarchy. And that's how this man views the world. And these poor service workers who are just going to their job day in and day out to make money, to do what it is they've been hired to do, are actually the ones who are being berated. And I have to point out that it seems evident in watching some of these videos that some of the people he's talking to don't have English as their first language. So how insulting is it to have somebody come to you in this land of just privilege and opportunity, and they use that privilege and opportunity to change their pronouns and try to enforce them on you? And this isn't a new phenomenon. We see these filmed altercations of people getting misgendered all the time on the internet.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Your entire staff has been calling me sir.
Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's
that's
her. You're not being polite to the pronoun.
7 in the morning at the physical therapy office, misgendered.
Tell me why I just got misgendered at the pharmacy.
I have this one coworker who simply refuses to use the correct pronouns for me.
He admits twice calling me sir.
And we can keep going through this never-ending cycle, right? Because it makes for good content. It makes people feel good about themselves. It makes people be able to identify and label themselves as a perpetual victim. I guess it's a win-win situation for all if this continues to happen, except for those who are reasonable and sane. And I guess we should accept this will continue to happen as long as people subscribe themselves to an ideology that says that they can police others' language and have really unrealistic expectations for other people's language. The fact of the matter is, if you look like a sir, you will be referred to as sir. If you look like a ma'am, you will be referred to as ma'am. Hell, sometimes I go out and I can be referred to as a man. I'm sure in each of our lives, even if you are a straight, cisgendered, heterosexual individual, you have been misgendered at one point or another. Did you start screaming your head off when the cashier at Chick-fil-A accidentally called you sir? Did you ask for a manager when the server at Chipotle called you ma'am? Oh, you didn't? You mean to tell me that you didn't pull out your phone when somebody accidentally used the wrong pronoun for you you or referred to you as some sort of gendered language that you don't adhere to, if you didn't do those things, that would make you normal in these cases, right? Because normally we just take these things in and go, oh, that was a mistake, and you go on about your day because your day is yours and theirs is theirs, and there's no point in making a giant conflict over something so small. In fact, here's a video that I feel is a prime example of how we should deal with being misgendered.
I was just misgendered in my local FedEx. The woman behind the counter asked her coworker, "Did you help that guy yet?" And after further observation, she goes, "Or lady." See, immediately, my thoughts were, cancel this woman because she called me what I look like. Just kidding. That's what y'all would do. I, on the other hand, am aware that I look like a guy. Look at me. Am I a guy? Nope, just a dyke. But this is your message. If you look like a guy, they're gonna call you a guy. If you look like a chick, they're gonna call you a chick, regardless of what you identify as. Okay? And stop taking it so personally. In fact, you'd be a little happier if you could laugh sometimes. Laugh at it.
As I said before, I have sympathy for people who are going through a great struggle with their identity and who are exploring and messing around with things in order to feel better about themselves. We could argue that it's not the best path to make you feel better about yourself, but still, everybody is on their own journey. However, that journey should not involve filming unknowing individuals as they misgender you and posting it on the internet for people to see. This man is not a victim. He's the victimizer. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this situation. Drop them down in the comments below. As always, if you disagree with me, duke it out, but do so respectfully. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I make a post for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you next time.
It's ma'am.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.